Well, congratulations, you guys. You're expecting your first baby together. Kind of walk me through the moment you found out and also how you're doing, because Ashley, you and I just kind of talked and it's been a little hard.
Yeah, you know what? I have gotten so much feedback over the past 72 hours from people on Instagram, and it's so crazy how many people are so sick. Like, honestly, when I'm reading, comparing my experience to all these others, I'm like middle range. I throw up not every single day. Some days are really bad, but
some days are pretty bad, unfortunately. I feel bad.
But some days I don't throw up at all. And there are some women that are messaging me about just it being non-stop. And I'm like, wow, I guess I'm kind of in a sense lucky, even though I don't in my stomach feel it right now. But
yeah, as a guy, I didn't know anything either. I just knew morning sickness. So I thought, oh, when you're pregnant early on, you get sick in the morning and then you're fine in the afternoon and night. And that is not the case. I have no idea who came up with morning sickness, but that term needs to go away because poor Ash has been throwing up constantly and constantly nauseous. We're super blessed and grateful that we are pregnant because we know a lot of people struggle out there, and we were trying for about 7 months. So, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. I'm not the one going through the sickness right now, so.
Yeah, our thing now is we are not pregnant. Don't know where that expression "we're pregnant" came from because the
Ashley's
girl is pregnant.
I'm just having a kid along with her.
Yeah, it's we're having a child.
Yeah.
But you are the one that's pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when we found out, it was a month that we didn't think we were going to be pregnant.
No, she was so good at keeping track of her ovulation and scheduling everything. And then it was the 1 month that everything was a little off.
I was just off. My schedule was off. So.
And this was after 7 months. So we thought, well, it's definitely not happening this month. And it happened this month.
Yeah, but my boobs were so sore, more than just pre-period sore. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a test. It's gonna be negative, so I'm not even gonna tell him that I'm gonna take a test. But then when I moseyed along and looked at the result, it was a faint second line, and I was like, that's silly. I told him, and then he didn't believe it for a long time. He didn't even believe it after multiple positive tests.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Not getting my hopes up.
So you guys tried for 7 months. Was there a point that you felt is this in the cards for us?
No, actually at my age, my doctor was you go for a year before.
You go for a year. Okay.
I was gonna get my sperm tested. I don't know how else to phrase it.
I think it was frustrating because you're oh my God, we're doing everything right. How could this not be happening? But I wasn't at the real concern point. I was at the when I get my period, I get a little disappointed point, but I wasn't really concerned. But we did want to do the sperm analysis just because 1 out of every 3 couples who struggle with infertility, it's the guy who has the issue. So you can rule that out really quickly with just a completely non-invasive, super simple test. And the month that he was going to go and do that, we found out I was pregnant.
I know. You hear so many different stories. This couple's been trying for 5 years to get pregnant, and then these, other couple first try, and it was okay, we're pregnant. It's insane.
I am sorry that you're sick. Jared, how has it been? We saw on the Instagram, you there with Ashley throwing up. How has it been for you to sort of watch her go through this and support her through this?
It's been tough. I feel terrible because, it's our kid, and yet I'm not any different. I don't feel sick, So my daily life hasn't really changed all that much. So I'm just trying to be here for Ashley as much as possible.
He feels kind of helpless, which is sweet because when I'll be sick and he's like, what can I do to help? I'm well, literally nothing. He runs errands for me, which is really
I get
nice.
Slurpees. I get chocolate cake. I fulfill the cravings. Other than that, it's this cycle of hey, you need crackers? You want some plain pasta? Ginger ale? For the 17th time today.
Oh, what are you craving, Ashley? Chocolate cake? What else?
Chocolate chip pancakes are the one thing that I haven't thrown up. The one thing that I eat constantly that I don't throw up. So I love my chocolate chip pancakes.
You guys are going to find out the sex this week, but I know that your grandmother gave you some advice about what she thinks the sex could be.
My grandmother said if I'm pregnant with a boy, I'll get prettier, especially come my 2nd trimester. And then if I am with a girl, I'll get uglier because the girl sucks your beauty. And I'm okay with the girl sucking my beauty because I want a girl. We find out on Wednesday. We don't really know what we're gonna do. We haven't even talked about this. I think that we'll have them give us the envelope and then we'll decide from there. I don't want to be in the ultrasound room and find out, I don't think.
It's really up to Ash. I mean, she's been getting the brunt of this, so whatever she wants, I'm good with.
I think both of us think it's a boy.
I've always thought it was a boy.
You thought it was a boy before we got pregnant. He's been saying we're going to have our first is going to be a boy. And I've had a gut feeling about that too. I think it's just because I want a girl so bad that like I know it'll probably end up being a boy.
Yeah, and I'm indifferent because I want a boy and I want a girl. So
okay, all right.
I get him a Tom Brady jersey early on.
Yeah.
Have you guys picked out names for if it's a boy or a girl yet? Have you talked about that?
If it's a boy, we have a name picked out. I've had this name picked out since I was like 20, and Jared really liked it. I had another name for a girl that I had picked out, but he didn't like that one. But it's okay because I'm far more attached to the boy name. So
yeah, I the name that she picked out, I love for a boy, and we actually just figured out the middle name as well. So we have if it is a boy, we have the first and middle name all set.
Yeah.
And we love movies, and there's a little nod to a couple films in the name, which is ridiculous, but also like so meaningful to us. And it's a great name, and we love it. And nobody would know except for us.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. Who was the first person in Bachelor Nation that you guys told?
But I told Ben mainly because Ben and I do the podcast every week together, and like I just wasn't feeling good, and I just wanted him to know like if I was kind of like seeming a little bit less energetic than usual, there was a reason behind it.
Yeah, I think Ben was probably the first one to know in Bachelor. We FaceTimed with Tanner and Jade, and we told them, which was very exciting because we're very close with them. We called Nick, and it was the most Nick thing of all time because, first of all, he was outside with his shirt off, and I was like, okay, this is perfect. And then he answered the phone. He's like, you guys are pregnant, aren't you? And it was like, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, why else would you FaceTime me right now?
It was 9 in the morning LA time. Yeah. Like we were like together with our faces like this.
I know, and it was so funny. So we talked about Ashley being pregnant for about 90 seconds, and then we started talking about his podcast. I was like, this is the most Nick thing of all time. I love it.
Who of you guys cried the most when you found out, or
is it weird that like we didn't really cry?
Well, I was talking about this, and I've talked about it with a lot of my friends who are fathers, and there's almost a little guilt because I don't feel that connected with the baby yet. The only time I did feel truly, really connected was when we went for the first doctor's appointment. We saw the ultrasound, and even though, you know, it's the size of an ant right now in a sack the size of a blueberry, like I've only ever seen that in movies, you know, putting the gel on her stomach and moving the ultrasound and be like, oh, that's the baby right there, and there's a little heartbeat. And I was like, oh wow, this is very real.
Seeing my sister cry and like my mom, like it's watching people cry for us that made me more emotional than just like looking at the positive.
And I had a moment with my dad. My dad is truly my hero. Like he's the ultimate family guy. I've never met a human being who loves his family more than my dad loves, you know, me, my sister, and my mom. And we had like a quick 10-second moment where he was just like, you know, he's like, I know the man you are, and you're gonna be a great dad.
So
and
cute.
I said, thanks, Dad. And it was a really cool moment.
What will it be like when you do have your little one to return to paradise? Will that feel full circle for you guys, or like emotional?
That'll be very full circle.
So weird.
Because I know it's ridiculous for people to think, but that beach down in paradise, it's very significant. It's where we first met. It's where we got engaged. It's where we went through a lot of ups and downs. I think we grew a lot. Together and separately on that beach. The idea of going back to it with our child is insane.
Yesterday,
but incredible.
Yesterday I was telling Jared, I was like reminiscing on this time where we weren't together, and I threw up hungover in his car. And I'm like, I can't believe that I was like so embarrassed throwing up in your car, like knowing you for 6 months. And now I throw up with you in the car all the time because I'm pregnant with your child. Like it's so weird.
And no shame. Just grab the plastic bag and be like, I gotta throw up. And then, all right, go do what you need to do.